Hello everyone, and welcome to the April 28th update for Captain Stardust. This week we had 21 commits from 3 different contributors, which brings our lifetime commits to 180 from 9 lifetime contributors, and we just wrapped up week 8 of 21. This week we had Ryan jump in for a test commit. Andy came in and added a fast travel cheat and added a pick-upable interface, as well as fixed the city person blueprint pickup locations. That way it's directly over the player's head instead of way off into space. I fixed up a couple bugs, added 4 different types of buildings, added like a little bit of a water interface, and then added like an edge of the world barrier. I also added decorations around the island based on some of the existing assets that we had. I added an objective blueprint to display in the top right-hand corner to let the player know what they're supposed to be doing, as well as added a narrative widget so that way the player can get a little bit of flavor text as to what is going on for the story. And then I started work on the traffic system and started work on the cops chasing the robbers, but did not make a lot of progress in either one of those. So let's jump on over to the game. The first one that I wanted to look at was the cop mesh that was brought in a couple of weeks ago. So we have the animation going, and ideally the cop is supposed to be chasing after the robber if they see them, but that's not quite happening. So the robber is just, I guess, bored sitting over there. That is okay. We still have the mechanics where the different characters ragdoll if you crash into them, and if you press the E key, now they hang out right above your head, and you can press E and then put them down. So that is really neat, and they are staying right above your head. We'll get rid of that car there and go pick that guy up. So that's a really nice touch there. So thank you for that, Andy. Next, I want to jump into New Lincoln City to kind of take a look and see what we've been doing here. So this is our new and improved city, where we have like our little cityscape in the middle here. We scattered the lights, the potted plants, we scattered a lot of trees, we added a couple of different buildings over here. So like we have a mall or like a strip mall type of thing right over here. We have a couple of generic type of buildings back there. We have like a little grocery store looking building there. We have like a little restaurant fast food area right over here. And then we went through and added sidewalks all the way around. We added the trees, the city lights, the traffic lights, the little newspaper stands are also now scattered around. I updated the location of quite a few of the collectibles, so now they're a little bit more tucked away and a little bit more inclusive of the world. I think my favorite one is we have an underpass right over here. We have a bit of an underpass down there, so there's a collectible hanging out down there. Also scattered around the waypoints, so now there are about half a dozen different waypoints over there. And then we also have our little ocean texture, which is just a reskin of the energy orb that the player has that the player can fire. And the last couple of elements here, we added a narrative widget, which will display the character name of whoever's talking, as well as whatever they are talking about. The blueprint for that goes off of a timer, so there's going to be no player input to it. It will just flow from one sentence to the next sentence to the next sentence, and then when it's all done, it will go ahead and turn off. So we have on the blueprint itself, wherever that went. There we go. We have a narration text blueprint over here. And I think I have one in the game right here. There we go. Narration text blueprint. You can create an array of the amount of time or the number of characters that are in the conversation, an array of text strings that you want to display, as well as a length of time that you want them to be displayed. And then once the time expires, it moves on to the next string there. So we can probably take a look at that first if I were to hit play. So there we go, we have text 1, and there's no player input here, and then we go into text 2, and then no player input, text 3, and then it should disappear. There we go, just like that. So now we can have lots of different narration elements that turn on different missions. Speaking of missions, I want to walk on over here. And these pink cubes over here were here last week, but we didn't look at them. On the right-hand side, you can see the mission 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of those are already in the game, and you can see that with our mini-map with the triangles in the lower left-hand corner down there. So if the player were to walk over it, it turns on the next waypoint, as well as tells the player what mission they're currently on, as well as a general text description of what the mission is. So they can go ahead and go to that one, and go to that one. So we basically have the mechanics of the game finished through the narration elements. So now we just need to go into the individual objective and then flesh that out and then scatter these blocks around the world based on wherever the event is taking place. So I believe that is everything in-game. So if we jump on over to our Vaikunja board over here, we're wrapping up this over here. We're going to do the mission 0. So we have the different elements that need to happen there. It's our introductory mission there. We still have a little bit of audio that's starting to pile up if anybody would like to jump in and take care of that. We have a couple of design elements that we want to integrate, as well as doing a couple of bug fixes. And then we're also scattering out the traffic system because that was much too complicated to knock out in 1 week. So we have like one task here, another task here, and another task here, just to try to spread that workload out. So that is our week coming up. And then we also have quite a few missions coming up in the near future as well. So there are still plenty of ways to be getting involved, but that is our weekly update for Captain Stardust.